Growing up, Philip Oakley's grandfather would bring him to the local racetracks and introduced him to the wonders of racing. His family also owned an automotive repair business, which honed Philip's mechanic skills and piqued his interest in cars and engines. His engine building career bloomed from there, and today, Philip owns Oakley Motorsports, located in Owensboro, Kentucky, which he started back in the mid-2000s. The shop specializes in drag racing engines, but also does work on truck pulling engines, open-wheel modified and dirt track engines, as well as mud racing engines. Oakley Motorsports sponsors the Top Sportsman and Top Dragster classes for Division III in NHRA, and is well known for building nitrous engines in those classes. However, as centrifugal blowers have been getting more and more popular, Oakley knew he'd have to try his hand at one of those engine builds. What followed was a 540 CID Vortech blower Top Sportsman engine. My name is Greg Jones, and I'm the editor of Engine Builder magazine, and we're going to give you the details of that build in this episode of Engine of the Week.
This video is sponsored by Pengrade, Precision Performance Pengrade, always the original green oil. And by L-Ring, leading technology, leading service.
Heavy focus on using nitrous in his Top Sportsman engines, Oakley began to investigate using blowers on those motors as another option.
As the centrifugal blower things get more popular because of the mile an hour, we just really hadn't done anything for that. And I felt that we needed to do something to keep us, involved in what's going on as things progress in that field and show that we could do that. So it originally started with one of my Top Sportsman customers and myself, my personal car. So what we decided to do is I went to PRI and I was very interested in, whether I was going to use a Pro Charger or a Vortech blower. I was kind of undecided which way I wanted to go. And I got to meet Lance Keck of Vortech, and they really sold me on their product. And so everything started right there.
Recently, Top Dragster and Division III moved the index from 6 seconds flat to 6:10 in the quarter mile. The top 20 cars go faster than 6:20, so Oakley knew he had to have some pretty good power to compete at that level. Here's Philip to tell you more.
We started with a Brodex aluminum block, 9/8 block. We hip all of our blocks. The guys at Brodex do a great job for us. We use the 3X 380cc intake runner head. It has conical chambers and beryllium seats in it. And then, of course, we use Manley titanium valves on the intake and Inconel exhaust. We use Callie's crankshafts, MGP rods, and Diamond does a custom blower piston for me. Urston does our camshafts. BAM did our lifters. Trend does our push rods. Jessel does our rockers. The Moroso wet sump oil pump. APD does the complete fuel system. We use a 1300 CFM blow-through carburetor along with their belt drive pump and everything. Of course, the Vortech blower is a V30 with a 123. V30 is their drive, and then the 123 is the blower size.
According to Oakley, one of the most important things on these engines is to build an engine that's tunable. Because these engines have so much power and the cars are light, you can't have too much torque down low, and you need big power in the higher RPM range to run big speed.
We actually do a 540 in our Top Dragster stuff, and then with a 4 1/4 stroke and a 4/500 bore. And then we do a 4 3/8 stroke and a 4/530 bore in our Top Sportsman stuff. So we put a little more torque in the door car side of things.
This engine is a pretty straightforward build, but Oakley says the key is good quality parts and proper machining. Because these engines turn anywhere from 8,000 RPM running Top Dragster to 8,800 or 8,900 RPM running a quick 1/8 mile. In these Division III classes, races are aiming to run around 230 miles per hour.
With us having the ET reduction this year, we really have to take a lot of power out of these engines up front for the speed to run in the back half. So you take the average 540 engine that we're doing we have to run like a 398 to the eighth to run 610. I just ran 380 with that thing, 379, 380 with that thing last weekend. So we're having to knock a couple tenths of power out of it in the eighth mile. That's how much reserve power that you have to be able to run those in a quarter mile.
To finish the build, Oakley sets the compression ratio anywhere from 10.5 to 1 to 12 to 1, depending on the application, then uses the shop's DTS dyno to break in the engine on gas without the blower.
These engines make about 940 on gas, no vacuum pump, no anything, and then we switch them over and put the blower on. My dyno's a DTS. It's kind of rated at 2,000 horsepower. I don't like to run it hard over that. These things make 2,100 at right at 7,000. It looks to be like they're making probably at 8,200, 25 to 2,600 horsepower to run the speeds that they're running.
Well, that does it for this episode of Engine of the Week. A special thanks goes out to our sponsors Pengrade Motor Oil and L-Ring. And remember, folks, if you have an engine you'd like to see featured, please email me at gjones@babcocks.com. See you all next time.